Welcome to the part 4 of a 6-part series on understanding the science of exposure in photography. In this video, you will learn all about the fourth factor which decides exposure, and that is light sensitivity of a sensor designated by ISO. If you haven't, then watch the part 1, 2 and 3 of this series by clicking here. I will also link it in the description below. This will make sense and you will follow this course systematically. Just a recap. There are 4 factors which decides exposure, and in first 3 parts of the series we discussed about the first 3 factors. ISO is a number given to the light sensitivity of a photographic film or a sensor based on its sensitivity to light. This number is given by International Standards Organization. Generally, the base ISO is 100 in most of the sensor, and it can go up to 100,000. More the number, more the light sensitivity, lesser the ISO, less the sensitivity. Sensor of the camera is made up of pixels. Each pixel is in fact a light diode. So sensor is made up of millions of light diodes depending on the pixel count of a sensor, which commonly is referred to as resolution. Light diodes, when exposed to light, will make an image. Now let me explain you in simple terms what this sensitivity means. Say for example, 1000 units of light is required to make an image of a sensor having an ISO of 100. Then 500 units of light will be required to expose for a sensor having an ISO of 200. And only 250 units of light will be required to expose for a sensor having an ISO of 400. And if the ISO is 50, then 2000 units of light will be needed to expose the image. So with this example, you understand that if you double the ISO number, the light requirement is reduced by half. And if we make the ISO half, the light requirement is doubled, as discussed in part 2 and 3 for aperture and shutter. This doubling or halving of ISO is called one stop. That means ISO of 200 is one stop less sensitive than ISO 400 and will require double the light as compared to ISO 400.